So last night, the Minnesota Timberwolves got a dominant win over the Sacramento Kings for their 5th straight win. It's not just about the fact that the Timberwolves have won 5 games in a row, though. They have absolutely been dominating the NBA this year and have been one of the top teams in the league as of late, and today I want to talk about why that is. What's up, guys? SCJ here, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So as just mentioned in the intro, the Timberwolves won their 5th straight game last night as they beat the Sacramento Kings by a score of 134-114 in Sacramento. This was a solid win for the Wolves, as I know the Kings aren't a good team and they also were without the players that they traded for on Tuesday afternoon, but the Wolves still handled their business and got a blowout win on the road, which is great to see for them. The Timberwolves have dominated in 2022 and they have accumulated a record of 13-6 since the calendar year changed. You might remember the Timberwolves were a rather mediocre team prior to 2022. So really, what changed for them? So right now, we're going to look at the team stats from the start of the season until January 1st for the Timberwolves. In terms of scoring, the Timberwolves were relatively mediocre, coming in with the 14th most points per game averaged in the league. In terms of shooting percentage, the team really struggled, coming in with the 4th worst field goal percentage in the NBA. In terms of three-point shooting, the Wolves had the 8th worst shooting percentage from behind the arc, which is not good at all, obviously. The team also struggled shooting from the line as they came in with the 9th worst shooting percentage from the free throw stripe prior to January 1st. The Timberwolves were in the bottom half of the league, coming in with the 16th most rebounds per game, and in terms of sharing the ball, the Timberwolves were once again in the bottom half of the league as they were also in the 16th place rank for that category as well. The Wolves didn't do too good in terms of protecting the ball on their own as they turned it over the 6th most times, but on the opposite side of the ball, things were completely flipped around as they actually grabbed the 6th most steals themselves. Then lastly, in terms of protecting the rim, the team was very good as they were top 5 as they came in with the 5th most blocks per game. I think one thing that is important to mention for the Timberwolves stats prior to 2022 is they did in fact have some guys miss multiple games, so make sure to be mindful of that. But if we look at how much the Timberwolves have improved in terms of their traditional stats, you can really see why things have changed and been a whole different story for them in 2022. In terms of points per game, the T-Wolves are averaging the most in the league and are nearly 5 points better than the second place Grizzlies in terms of points per game, which is crazy. In terms of shooting from the field, they go from the 4th worst percentage to the 6th best, which is absolutely insane once again. Their shooting from beyond the arc has been superb as well, going from the 8th worst percentage prior to 2022 to the 5th best percentage now. Free throw shooting has still been an issue for them as they come in with the 13th worst shooting percentage from the line, but the team's rebounding has been great as they come in 11th place and they're a fraction of a rebound off of being tied for 10th place in that category. It seems one major reason for their improvement is how much they've improved their passing. The Timberwolves have averaged the 3rd most assists per game since the start of the new calendar year, meaning they've jumped from 16th to 3rd place, and they've averaged nearly 4 more assists per game, going from 23.6 prior to 2022 to 27.5 since the calendar year flipped. In terms of turnovers, the Timberwolves are still not great as they're averaging the 12th most. However, the team has improved as they average the 6th most turnovers with 15.1 per game prior to 2022 versus 13.8 turnovers now. So slowly improving, but sure, of course it's still a problem for them. Then you may remember the one area I talked about them being great in was stealing the ball from their opponents, and they've only improved there, going from 6th place with 8.6 steals to 4th place with 9.3 steals per game. And then finally, in terms of blocks, they go from 5th place with 5.7 to 3rd place with 5.9, so a slight improvement in that department for them. Now, one critique or thing that I think the Timberwolves need to get back on track with is their defense. Prior to 2022, the Timberwolves had the 11th best defensive rating in the league with a rating of 108.2, but now they've fallen all the way back to 17th place with a rating of 111.6. So the team has to get back on track in that regard, especially now since they look so great offensively. Now, despite their poor defense, the Wolves have done a great job of protecting the paint, as they've allowed the 9th least amount of points to be scored in the paint since the start of January, and they've also allowed the 12th least amount of rebounds per game, as well as the fact that they've forced their opponents to turn the ball over more than any team in the league since the calendar year has flipped. When they've averaged the most points in the league right now, they're able to get by even when allowing the 8th most points per game to their opponents. But imagine how much better they'd be if they were just able to improve their defense, so that's got to be a goal of theirs going forward. Now, as you can see here, despite the team averaging the most points in the league since 2022 began, 3 of their top 4 guys have actually seen a drop in their scoring average, and while D'Angelo Russell has improved, he's only improved by 0.2 more points per game. In terms of their scoring, the biggest thing for them has really been that their other pieces have truly stepped up and have began to improve. Jaden McDaniels jumped from 7.8 to 9.4 points. Jaylen Nowell just jumped from 6.7 to 9.8 points. And the biggest jump has been the emergence of Jarred Vanderbilt going from 6.1 to 9.1 points per game. Patrick Beverly has also jumped from 8.6 to 9.5 points per game as well. Towns has really improved his rebounding and passing numbers, jumping from a solid amount in both areas. D'Angelo Russell's rebounds are down, but his assists are up. And both Patrick Beverly and Jordan McLaughlin have done a great job of improving their assist numbers lately as well. So this T-Wolves team is really getting spread out contributions from their entire rotation, which is great for them. The Timberwolves are currently holding on to the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and they will face the Sacramento Kings yet again tonight on the second half of a back-to-back. The Wolves, of course, beat the Kings last night, and if the Kings still don't have the players that they traded for yesterday, this T-Wolves team should be able to handle their business once again as they beat the Kings by 20 points last night. The Timberwolves currently have the 18th hardest, or I really should say, the 13th easiest schedule remaining, so this team really has a solid opportunity to remain in the play-in tournament by the time April comes, or just make the playoffs without having to play in the play-in tournament. However, we're really going to see what this team is made of coming up, as they have some tough teams on their schedule for the remainder of February, such as the Raptors, the Grizzlies, the Sixers, and the Cavs. This Timberwolves team is very talented though in my eyes, and they have a lot of potential, but they clearly still have flaws that they need to fix, as we've gone over in this video. The key for them in my eyes is to make sure that they keep their top 3 guys, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Anthony Edwards, and really fill in the rest of the holes in their roster for the time being, because Ant Edwards isn't even in his prime yet, but if they fill out the roster by the time he hits his prime, they'll be a problem for the rest of the conference and a problem for the rest of the NBA. So anyway guys, that is the breakdown on this Timberwolves team and their improvements, as well as what they need to fix going forward. But I want to know what you guys think about the Timberwolves, any of their players, or just anything having to do with the team down below in the comment section. If you made it all the way through to the end of the video, then I appreciate it. And like I said before, if you like this video, then make sure to give it a like, as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you stay up to date with all the newest content on my channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.